Oh, he's still setting up.
None of that was recorded.
What do you mean?
The volume wasn't on.
Oh.
Yeah, now the volume's on. So
Okay.
Hi, everybody. This is 23 BC.
Yes, this is 23 BC. I'm Jacob Hay.
This is Uriel. We're 6 minutes late.
Yep.
Partially not our fault.
Yeah, Sleepy took a little while.
Yeah, it's all right. We like Sleepy. Sleepy, a good guy.
Yes, he is, and he wants to come on our next show, maybe.
That's cool, hopefully.
And today we've got a special guest for you guys coming in. She's going to be a little late. Her name is Jean Dean. You might be familiar with her. She is a local poet. She's a teacher at METC, and she is an expert on the John F. Kennedy assassination. And if you want to call in and talk to her when she comes in, talk to her about the John F. Kennedy assassination, that is welcome. And she is also the creator of the Washerwoman, the Poems of the Washerwoman, which recently aired on, I forget what channel, one of the cable channels, and it's homage to the most unsung character in literature. So she'll be coming on pretty soon. She's just going to be a little late because she's finishing up at work. And we've got some music for you tonight.
And we got coffee.
So stick around.
Music and coffee.
So Uriel.
So Jake.
So we've got a new bass player.
Yes we do, Mr. Luke.
Mr. Luke, and he couldn't make it in tonight. We're gonna have him say hi to you guys, and we're back with our old drummer, but we're just gonna do an acoustic and vocal set for you guys tonight, as we usually do, and then hopefully sometime soon we'll be playing somewhere nearby, and we will let you know where. You can also check out what we're up to on our website, 23bc.org. The number 2, number 3, letters B and C.org. So, how about we start with our main song, 23 BC. I wish we had our bass player here so he could do a solo in it. Sounds alright. Sky mirror, won't you take us to your world? Sky mirror, won't you take us to your world? Swimming through reality in the waves upon your mind. Let the balance consume me and send me on my way. Drifting in and out of the thoughts behind your face. I hear the prophets invoke the ways beyond your ways. I hear a distant call as the wind begins to sway. The waters neath the waters in the firmament of day. As I read the writer's scroll, I seem to hear his voice. Sounds of colors and of patterns breaching mind's wall of choice. take us to your world. Sky mirror, won't you let your love unfurl? Well, if you guys ever have any questions about our songs, about the lyrics or anything, please feel free to call in at 414-935-2951.
Indeed. It's hot up here.
It is very hot in here, Uriel.
So what the philosopher said to the philosopher chicken.
What did the philosopher say to the philosopher chicken?
The philosopher chicken said to the philosopher chicken.
I don't know. What did the philosopher chicken say to the philosopher chicken?
He said, "You cross the road, so which you are the road." I just made that up.
I liked the...
Hey, your friend's here.
Oh, Jean Dean is here.
Indeed, she is here. We set her up then.
Well, we have our guest in.
I heard you singing. That sounded pretty fine.
How are you
Thank
doing?
you.
Hi.
I'll have a seat.
Okay.
Did you set up here?
Where shall I sit? Here?
Yeah, here.
In the hot seat, right?
Probably in the hot seat. Your place to be.
Oh, let me break something. All we need is a camera. And then we could do pantomime radio. Pantomime radio.
Oh.
You'll have to switch on her
Oh,
microphone.
by the way, I have to, my new name, Plum de Noom. Plum de Noom. My new writing name is Backwards X.
It's not on yet.
You are on.
You are now on.
Backwards X.
Backwards X. What is that about?
Well, right now, we're all, in the English language, we're all very interested in switching letters, replacing sevens for L's. And so my reconfiguring of the English language is my new name, Backwards X. What is the sound of Backwards X? I guess we'll find that out tonight.
Z.
Zay. Then again, I have my other name, which is Higgs boson, and I am that which everyone is seeking.
That is.
The God particle. That's me.
She's of course referring to the what I was just talking to you about the other day, Uriel, the Higgs boson particle collider.
Oh, that big old machine that's going to destroy the world one day.
Right. Boy, this microphone is creeping into the nether regions.
Yeah, it doesn't tighten up here, but it tightens up right here. It's kind of, you want to switch microphones, I can use that one.
Oh, no. Well, I might, because I did bring, yeah. Okay.
Oh, I see you brought some of your JFK poetry.
I did. I brought some of and I have new ones that every
New ones.
every year I write new ones.
That's right. He is the only president that told the truth.
Yeah, right now my book is called Abortion of the American Dream. It's really interesting listening to the Democratic Convention because they keep talking about how the dream is being revitalized. So I guess they haven't totally they're screwed my concept. So should I read a poem? I love to
Please
read poems.
do.
Okay, so this one is called Golden Light of Camelot, and it's a sonnet, actually. And a lot of my poems that come from stories, and this was recounted by someone who was in Texas, who was in San Antonio. Was it? They went from Houston to Dallas that day, and he was a young kid who went to the library. There was a golden light the light of a bright Texas sun after rain. It glowed on his forehead and wind-swept hair. His head was golden there, standing in the open limousine of the motorcade, so we all could see him smiling, gliding by in the sun like some great golden knight of Camelot, steering a chariot. There was goodness in his smile. The nation felt right, and my heart lighted when he looked my way. Everything seemed right when he spoke. He acted for justice and fair play, like a great golden knight of Camelot. That's how I saw him in 1963, the last day he was alive.
Wow.
Yeah. And I think it's great to keep those memories alive, to keep the memory of this great night of democracy, if you will. I've been researching for decades, and every year there's a theme of the research. And this year it seems like the theme is on Lyndon Baines Johnson, LBJ, and how he was much more culpable, much more involved than the earlier reports, that he was a bystander. And some of the worst things to come out is how he just lived to be president, and how he thrilled and eroticized the whole process of running and being a candidate. Like we're going through an election right now, and he was quite an alcoholic, could be drunk out of his mind, but get up there and give that speech and then come out of it saying, this is what I live for. So he had that love of the mass, the love of the crowd. And he was actually facing, he was close to being indicted because of the many years of having accepted farm credits and had a whole cadre of secretaries and shills creating these false, phony organizations that caused him to get tax credits from farming. And his secretary was appearing before a congressional hearing that Friday, and it was due to make his testimony on Monday, the day of the funeral. So it was all very convenient, because once Kennedy was shot, that investigation was shut down. And as one pundit put it, Johnson was facing a prison term with what his people were coming forth with this congressional hearing. And Johnson, of course, was very good friends with Hoover, and they had a long-standing partnership. Johnson's house in Washington, D.C. was next door to Hoover's, so they were very close. And Hoover's play in the Kennedy assassination is very interesting because he probably supported it, and there's this famous report of the party the night before. Yes, and who was at the party the night before? It was at the Murchison house, and Murchison and Richardson were the two big Texas oiled wildcatters, and they had the oil depletion allowance, which gave them huge benefits and tax benefits, kind of like this stuff Romney's looking for today. And Kennedy was planning to rescind that oil depletion allowance. So the Texas oil men had an investment in Kennedy's death as well. So they hosted this party, and Hoover was there. Johnson was there, although he didn't make an appearance till quite late in the evening, and he was reported having been seen at his hotel at 11 o'clock. But there's all kinds of scuttlebutt about how he managed to slip out the back and go to the party. The reports of the party come from Johnson's mistress. If I can remember her name, she's all over the internet. Brown is her first name. And part of the reason why she came forward with this, and she has a book, was because the Johnson family refused to acknowledge her son, who was Johnson's. And then he ended up dying mysteriously. Another thing about the party that Madeline Brown tells about is that Nixon was there. So we have Hoover, Nixon, Johnson, and the major players of the day at this party. And then we have Madeline Brown's account of how Johnson says to her in confidence, after tomorrow, those Kennedy bastards aren't going to bother me anymore. And I'm not kidding, that's a promise. So some very cryptic words the night before. Some of the Kennedy researchers dispute the claim of the party the night before. But Nixon turns out to have, like Nixon and George Bush both have on record that when they asked where they were on the assassination, couldn't say where they were, whereas anyone who was alive can tell you exactly where they were without question or doubt, more so than probably any major event of the century. So Nixon, we know he was there in Dallas he was on the board of Pepsi Cola for some convention and had presumably left town that morning and heard the news in a cab in New York City, but the story gets a little more tricky. And some people say the Watergate incident was all about Nixon saying, are they going to find out about the Cuban thing? And that was his word for the assassination. And I mentioned Bush doesn't know where he was that day. Well, that's a whole other story. But I will mention that J. Edgar Hoover is very interesting because the FBI receives a phone call from George Bush the day of the assassination, claiming he knows some character who had been talking about trying to kill the president. And this character happens to have been a young man who was in the Republican committee that Bush was working on, so it was a very dubious kind of phone call. But that phone call leads to several paper trail and several memos, and some people are saying that he was trying to create an alibi, that he was in the town of, it's a small town, like 10-minute airplane ride from Dallas. You know, like he was really not there. So anyway, the thing that's very interesting about Hoover is he fingers, he points the finger right at George Bush in a memo that is dated a couple days after the assassination, responding to George Bush's phone call. And he says something like this. He said, in response to George Bush of the CIA regarding the Cuban insurgents, they are not involved in the assassination. And this is all very interesting because George Bush was nominated as executive director of the CIA back in the 80s. Who remembers that? I'm the historian here, I'm supposed to know. Well, he gets nominated during the House assassination hearings, which was a really legitimate research into dispelling the lone assassin. And the House Assassination Committee actually ends up with challenging the lone assassin theory as a bottom line. Not much else, but in the midst of it, George Bush is named head of the CIA because the man he replaced was cooperating with the investigation. And so suddenly Bush is now put in the head by Reagan in this, not Reagan, I have to withhold he's put as executive director of CIA, claiming he has no history, no background, no involvement until that fateful day when he's nominated. And that actually puts a closure on the House Assassination Committee rather quickly. And shortly after, there's several significant deaths of key witnesses, people like Johnny Roselli, who was pegged to report what he knew about the mafia connection and the Cuban connection. But there we go. We have Hoover saying in 1967 he fingers George Bush as a CIA man back in 1963. Now, my research, I've seen photographs, and they're out on the internet, there's two of them putting George Bush right on the corner of the Texas Book Depository. And one of the things that's interesting about the Texas book, or the reporting that day, is the journalists say two witnesses, two credible witnesses said that shots came out of the Texas Book Depository. And I can just see George Bush standing there in his oil man suit with his buddy Ed Lansdale, a known CIA agent who's been also identified on the scene, being these two credible witnesses in telling the police, yeah, the 6th floor of the book depository.
Isn't there a picture out there that shows Bush in the crowd?
There is indeed a photograph of George Bush standing in front of the book depository
Right.
while the police are securing the building. There's another photograph that is, and the one that I just mentioned was released from a FBI office in Los Angeles. And it's at a website. You can search for it, Bush, Dealey Plaza. And the person who released it says he would sign an affidavit proving the validity of the photograph having been in the FBI files. And apparently it was some retiring FBI agent who thought he would, help this investigation along by releasing that. And there's another photograph that's also been released by a similar person who is more obscure. I've seen it discussed on forums, and he also claims to have undercover capacity, and it shows George Bush and Lansdale standing across the street from the book depository, and I presume it's before the assassination occurred, so they're kind of within 100 feet of the building.
I just want to say, I think we should maybe transition to some music and then get back to the subject. But first, I just want to say to anybody who's listening, if you have any questions for Gene Dean regarding the John F. Kennedy assassination, please call 414-935-2951.
Okay. Yeah, I thought you were going to give him my home phone.
No.
Yeah, just call me anytime.
Yeah, I'm just going to give the whole world your phone number.
So here we are at the program. What song are you going to play?
Do you want to hear a new one of ours?
I would love it.
All right, we've got a bunch of new ones. You have your pick.
Do Freedom.
All right, this is one he wrote the chorus to, and I wrote the verse.
I love it.
If I can't practice freedom, then your system's gotta go. The only way to survive this hell is to free your soul, breathe in the air, let them demons go. Give your mind, body, and soul to a higher flow. The mind is said to be twofold, the pure and the impure. Pure is in search of gold, desirelessness the cure. Gotta find that inner light, let them problems go. Only way out of this plight is to pay the told, if I can't practice freedom, then your system's gotta go. The only way to survive this hell is to free your soul. Breathe in the air, let them demons go. Give your mind, body, and soul to a higher flow. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. The dividing line inside your mind is the chord you play. The only way out is in now. Only way in is out. Only thing left to do now is to kill the doubt. If I can't practice freedom, then your system's gotta go. The only way to survive this hell is to free your soul. Breathe in the air, let them demons go. Give your mind, body, and soul to a higher flow. Yeah, if I can't practice freedom, then your system's gotta go. The only way to survive this hell is to free your soul. And that was Freedom, written by Uriel Olson and Jacob Hay of 23 BC.
Yes, very fine, very fine.
Elmo just came in. Hey, Elmo! You want to say something to the audience here? No, you don't want to say anything?
Freedom. Well, tonight, after this show ends, President-elect and candidate Barack Obama is going to be giving his speech for the Democratic Convention. What?
Ooh, more lives.
Well, maybe, yeah. I was watching Slick Willie last night, and he was explaining what was wrong with the Republican platform and all. How he had a really good line. He said he pointed out that before him there was a deficit, and after him there was a deficit. But he actually ran 4 years without a deficit, and I can tell you why he did that, because they rearranged the bandwidth, and so that created this whole block of wealth, because they changed what was AM, FM, and the open and video and television and police bandwidth, and so they opened up all this bandwidth that led to the telephone, cellular phone systems, and so that caused this windfall. But still, it was good for him. But he did say the reason why the Republicans can't get their policies to work is because of arithmetic. It's sort of simple, straightforward. So there was no lie there. That was pretty good. And
My question is, why isn't Ron Paul on the candidate list?
yeah, a lot of people are asking
I've
that.
heard tell that he's connected with neo-Nazis, and personally I think the only reason he's out there is to distract voters from voting from Obama.
You were just an Obama fan, aren't you?
No, I'm not. I personally, I don't agree with everything he's done, and I think there's much better candidates out there, but I think that he's the best option we have been given. I know that Ron Paul is not going to be elected, and if he is, I don't take the guy seriously.
You don't take the guy seriously? He's the only one that doesn't lie.
Well, that's what the propaganda made you think.
Well, the libertarians have a lot to say, and they may grow. Hey, I got a song that, I don't know, maybe if I screech out a few lines, you can find a melody.
One of your songs?
Yeah, it's on Kennedy. It's called A Poem Dirge with a Bass Guitar. And let's see. The chorus is CIA, CIA, CIA sellout, Kennedy shootout, CIA sellout, Kennedy shootout. And then the chorus goes, like kind of me talking. United Steel, Zapata Oil, TNT, Permindex, Titan Resource, corporate greed, CIA sellout, Kennedy shootout, 3 bullets and a crooked rifle, Oswald's double, lone assassin was no marksman, 7 shots fired, CIA sellout, Kennedy shootout, CIA sellout, Kennedy shootout. Bill Harvey, Alan Dulles, H.L. Hunt, Billy Sol Estes, Sam Traficante, Jimmy Hoffa, all sworn enemies. CIA sellout, Kennedy shootout. Hot day at Dallas, man opens umbrella. Motorcade stop. George Bush faces the depository. Police storm in. CIA sellout. Kennedy shootout. Guatemala, Chile, Iran, Vietnam. Democracy is the enemy. War makes money. CIA sellout. Kennedy shootout. Officer Tippit finds Oswald in a movie. Clean-shaved tramps at railroad fence walk away free. CIA sellout. Kennedy shootout. Free trade, tax-free, crime and politics go hand in hand at the little girly show. Lounge envelopes passed around. CIA sellout, Kennedy shootout. Kill the assassin, seal all evidence. 75 years. Most witnesses silenced in 10. CIA sellout. Kennedy shootout, CIA, see ya in my rifle, see ya in my rifle scope, CIA sellout, Kennedy shootout, CIA sellout. Well, I wasn't in a singing mood, I guess.
Well, that was good. Very
Thanks.
good.
It's hard for me to figure out stuff right away. Like,
Yeah.
give me like 20 minutes, I'm sure we'll figure something out.
And then we could get a younger girl to go, CIA sellout! I'm kidding.
Would you like to hear another of our new songs?
For sure, for sure.
All right, I'm thinking we should show her Waters of Oblivion.
Ooh,
This one, he wrote the music too. I wrote the lyrics too.
okay.
The books upon my shelf have all been written with the pens of yesterday's tears. And the people with which I have become smitten will be but shadows of my mind in years. The clock on the wall cannot compete with all the world's growing fears. And the prophet with his weeping visions does not choose the voices he hears. Whisper me over the waters of oblivion, that I may be here to return your love. Whisper me over the waters of oblivion, send blessings from above. The cities have become a wasteland, barren soil cries for yesterday's rain. But But the children in the hearts they are knowing that the sun will dance again. All the pedestals with the king's broken treasures and the flags on the wind flying high cannot hide the sorrowed remembrance of the divine one's golden sighs. Whisper me over the waters of oblivion, that I may be here to return your love. Whisper me over the waters of oblivion, send blessings from above. In that place beyond the horizon lies the peace of yesterday's prayers, and the nations as one they'll be singing, please take me, guide me there. I will wait in this hollow garden and guide my fellow men until the time comes when our shackles are cast off and the cities are reduced to sand.
Oh, yeah.
Whisper me over the waters of oblivion, that I may be here to return your love. Whisper me over the waters of oblivion, send blessings from above. Whisper me over the waters of oblivion, that I may be here to return your love. Whisper me over the waters of oblivion, send blessings from above.
Yeah. Wow.
This song got called epic the other night.
This was epic.
Somebody called it epic.
Yeah. It reminds me the first time I met you, Jake. We were at a small performance event, and you came and sang Breathing the Air, and I just fell in love with you. And I thought, boy, what a great musician, what a great future. And I'm so glad you and Uriel have teamed up, are building.
And now we have a drummer and a bass player, so we have a complete band. All we need is our violinist, who we most likely have in a young woman named Jennifer.
Excellent. Yeah, you guys are going to surpass me.
Surpass. I'm not try to surpass anybody. Anybody else.
We'll bring you along for that.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I always dance. I'm the dancer. I dance for free. I've been dancing for free. And every time I dance, somebody thanks me. And I keep spreading the universe, expanding the universe. Boy, that was a great song, though. I loved it.
Thank you.
I am loving what you two and your group are doing. It's a great honor to be here with you.
Thank you.
Yay. Yay.
I'm ready for 23 BC.
And maybe you'll do some of my poems and turn them into songs, which would be great.
I wouldn't mind doing that. It's all on him.
Here, try this one out. This is, I don't know if it's songable, but it's
Songable, let's see.
right now it's just me and the words. It's called Bulletproof Vest.
I don't know if I want to do anything this specific,
Okay.
I'm not, in this group, I'm not much for...
Okay,
I mean,
skip that one.
if we were talking about my old punk band, I would definitely take you up on this one.
Oh, okay.
Because I was trying to get it back together, but then the bass player, who wrote over half of the songs, the band decided to dip out.
Well, I've got poems even more specific than bulletproof vest. It's who would wear a bulletproof vest to an assassination? What do you think? Something else? Should I do a washerwoman poem?
Yes, please do.
A washerwoman poem. Yes, I'm the author of Abortion of the American Dream, poems about the assassination of John Kennedy, and A New Alphabet about the embodiment of text, and then Poems of the Washerwoman, homage to the most unsung character in literature. And you were?
Well, I introduced you and I told them a little bit about what you do.
So I've got all these different words. And I love it because Jake, we had 4 actors perform The Washerwoman on public cable TV and at a theater. And Jake was one of the actors. He played Kitchen Boy, also known as Handyman. And what was really fun was he quoted my own lines to me. So that was... The first washerwoman poem came out of Shri Ma, a woman who's a living Hindu saint and is known for having gone to her devotees' homes and cleaned them while they were gone and leaving behind a blessed altar to the goddess. And I thought, wow.
Shri Ma pays a call, mop and pail in hand.
Yes, Shri Ma. And today, actually, I was at the museum. It's Free Thursday, and the poster exhibits Paris posters, and I saw a Buddhist monk, a woman, and we stopped and chatted. And because I'm about all things dark and problematic, I told her about a problem in the force, a ripple in the force of Buddhism, and she knew a little bit about it, and we concurred. Oh, I think I found the poem to read. It's called Cinderella.
I want to see that Paris posters with the Lautrec and all that.
Yeah, you only have till Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah.
And I have to pay now.
Yeah, you have to pay now.
That's too bad.
Yeah, they shut down today at 8, so. But it was great. I loved it. It was wonderful. Oh, it was, no complaints.
Do they have any absinthe posters?
There was an absinthe poster that was in the shop. And I thought, I did not see this in the exhibit. Could I have missed it? But I don't think, so they had that as a small reprint one could buy. Yeah. And
I haven't had any absinthe in a very long time. I miss it.
Oh, the green elixir.
I'm going to write a poem about that.
The green elixir.
All right.
How much is the bottle of that?
Well, normally a standard bottle is about $50 to $100, usually around the $75 range.
Really?
But I get a good deal.
Now, I'm not going to talk about... Hey, well, you want to do a Cinderella poem? It's short.
Yeah.
6 minutes.
Okay. Cinderella's the quintessential washerwoman. She's the ingenue washerwoman, the debutante washerwoman, right? Oh, I hope I can read this with my my eyes in the dark. That reminds me of a poem I wrote about Shakespeare. Will you strike, wily pen in the dark? Okay. Cinderella. There I was, cleaning under the seats, scraping chewing gum debris. Yuck. Then I spied a small glittering thing. I crawled closer, stretching my fingers inches away. I had to rescue that little glittery thing. I could see it now. a shiny sheet of tissue, a thin, wispy piece of paper, a scrap in a Cinderella moment. And like the insubstantial tissue, I wanted to be saved, wanted to be rescued, and figured my odds: fat, thin, dumb, smart, ugly, pretty, old, dirty, a menial laborer, a damn damsel in distress was I. Just then, the spirit of Marilyn wafted by, reminding men like happy girls, happy girls, happy. Am I in a movie theater, or is this a movie watching me? I crawled closer under the seat, reaching. I caught the pretty little tissue in my hand. This scrap, this perfect scrap, perfect to write a poem in. Okay, okay. Happy girls.
Before we close up, do you want to do one more song? Seeing as how Sleepy took up some extra time and we missed a part of our show.
6 minutes or so. Yeah.
Let's do a song. I'm thinking either 23 BC Part 2 or one of our new songs.
Do one day.
One day?
I love that song.
Oh, okay. I'll do one day. This is a cover. This one's a cover. This one is a cover of Matis Yahu's song, One Day.
Montes Satu?
Matis Yahu.
Montes Yahoo.
We met him too.
When?
That was a fortune.
Recently?
He played in town at the rave.
Oh.
And we waited for him out by his bus along with some other people, and I was very happy to tell him face to face how much his music means to me. Shake his
I
hand.
wouldn't be the person I am without Monticello.
You wouldn't be
I
what?
wouldn't be the person I am today without Monticello.
Oh, fabulous. That is so wonderful. I got to meet Patti Smith when I was 18, and I still respect her.
I love Patty. All right, let's wrap this up.
Is it okay if I chirp in?
Sometimes I lay under the moon, I thank God I'm breathing. Then I pray, don't take me soon, I am here for a reason. Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down. So when negativity surrounds, I know someday it'll all turn around, because all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't want to fight no more. There'll be no more wars, and our children will play. One day, one day, one day, one day, one day, one day. It's not about win or lose, 'cause we all lose when they feed on the souls of the innocent. Blood-drenched pavement, keep on moving, though don't wanna stay raging. In this maze you can lose your way, your way. Might drive you crazy, but don't let it phase you, no way, no way. Yeah, sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down. So when negativity surrounds, I know someday it'll all turn around, because all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't want to fight no more. There'll be no more wars, and our children will play. One day, one day, one day, one day, one day, one day, one day. this all will change. Treat people the same. Stop with the violence, stall with the hate. One day we'll all be free and proud to be under the same sun, singing songs of freedom like oh, 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 oh. All my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't want to fight no more. There'll be no more wars and our children will pay one day, one day, one day, one day, one day, one day. Oh, 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 that will be a wrap for our show, but thank you very much, Jean Dean, for coming in.
Hey, I'm glad you invited me.
Pleasure having you.
Okay.
And I think next week we're going to have Jeff Penyalvash on the show. Yeah. And should be a good show. But if you're available the week after that, I'd love to have you on again.
Well, I can come late. You know,
Okay.
I work till 7.
Well, it
or
worked
8.
tonight, so-
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways, we're strapped for time. We got to go. But thank you for listening, everybody. And peace, blessings, and see you next week. Namaste.
Namaste.